right, this is the ultimate business tracking tool, and it is now free to your office. All you do is go to 2018cte.com, punch in that your office pays for it, and it is free to you. And this is the ultimate tracker that all of the top agents within the industry are now on. Your basic information is right on your homepage, and all you do in the system is put in your business plan, enter in your contracts, and your lead generation. There's only 3 things you do. Everything else is automatically generated for you, and all of your data is live real time. This is your homepage. All of your key numbers of your business right up on top. All of your income throughout the year mapped out. All of your pending income is showing on here as well, so you can always see your future month's income. What do I have coming up next month, the following month, December, whatever it may be, and all of your data is pulled up on your phone, and it's live, real-time data. You're always looking at your business in real time. You have your own CEO summary. This has all the gauges of your business that drive your profit, and you can track your progress to your destination in each one of these goals. It maps out your entire year. So listings taken, January, March I need to be at 13, April I need to be at 48. It maps it all out, I should say 33. And it maps it all the way out. Green is where I need to be at year to date, so I can see if I'm actually on pace to hit my goal in listings taken, listings sold, GCI, buyer sold, buyer representations taken. And it also shows my pending on here. So yeah, I've closed 42, I have 16 pending, so that will put me right here once those close. GCI, I closed 713. I have $225,000 pending. It'll give me here once those contracts close. My fuel is right up here. All of my potential clients, I can put my leads in here. Pre-signed, I've already signed them, we just haven't gone active yet. Active listings, units, volume, GCI, active buyers. I can put my actual active buyers in here so I know what I have in inventory and buyers that are looking for homes. Units, volume, GCI, pending and closed, your total income, your cost of sales, the percentage, your expenses, your gross profit, your net profit, your average listing sale price, your average buyer sale price, average commission on each side, your next 90-day cash flow. What does my business have in cash flow? In 15 days, how much do I have coming in? GCI and net GCI. It actually looks at your net, so you can see what you're going to actually put into the bank account. So you can, again, always know your cash flow. You have to know these numbers to run a successful business. Your entire year is mapped out right down below, so I can see exactly what is happening in each month of the year that drove the results of these gauges up top. So I can see exactly what I'm doing. All of my conversion rates of my business are tracked down below. Gary Keller's Top 100, over 70 of them are now on this. Almost all of Maps Coaching is on this. Ben Kinney, Adam Bergenrother, just to name a couple huge names that are on CTE. Now, this is the ultimate tool to use for your business, and you get it for free. All you do in this system is 3 things. Enter in your business plan. That takes you 20 minutes a year. Enter in a contract. A contract takes you a minute to put in. Your lead generation, this is actually entered in right on your phone, and it funnels right into the system. All of your key numbers right up on top of your business. Your income chart down below, you can see your pending income as well, so you can see your future months. What does it look like? All of this data you can pull right up on your phone as well. Everything inside of your business. You get a virtual whiteboard. This automatically generates for you. All of the reports inside of the system are live, real time, and they automatically generate. Everything I'm going to show you is automatically generated. All of your newest listings, oldest listings, upcoming to expired listings. Your upcoming closings, your latest closings are all on your virtual whiteboard. You can put this up on TV in your office, and it has a summary of your inventory right up on top. Your 4 conversations are built in here, and these are live, real time. You're actually looking at what have I done this month? In appointments held, listing side, and we track the buy side. Listings taken, buyer representations taken. Closings, listings, and buyers, we break it out in here so you can actually see it, and then your actual profit. And it has a completion meter in each one of those facets. You can pull this up and it's live real time. A sold home board. When you put in your sales, it puts all of your sales onto the sold home board. So you can actually see all of your sales throughout the entire year, all color coded for you. And then once you close them out, they will simply appear on your sold home board. Your scoreboard, this is a great visual of your goals versus your actuals. Writing a business plan is very important, but if you're not actually tracking each facet of your business versus your goal, your business plan is virtually useless. So this shows you year to date, where are you, where should you be at? Are you winning, are you losing? And then you jump into the middle and you can identify which areas of your business you're winning at and which areas you're losing at are in red. So you can quickly identify any strong points or any weaknesses in your business instantly. And then you also have your income down at the bottom. You have Fitbit. This shows you all of your goals versus your actuals in a Fitbit manner. Leaderboards for all of you teams out there. You can instantly have a leaderboard of your entire team inside of the system. You can look at volume, GCI, units, listings, buyers, anything. It's all a toggle switch here, and you can instantly have that leaderboard. And then your team members can also report all of their lead gen into the system: dials, contacts, listing appointments, set, held, signed, buyer appointments, set, held, signed, written contracts, and the number of showings that they went on so far. You can report daily, weekly, monthly, however often you desire. And it instantly funnels into your leaderboard. So you can see exactly who's doing what in lead generation from every category. A summary of your month. What has gone on this month? If I'm a CEO, I need to know exactly how many appointments have we set this month? How many have we held? How many have we signed? Buyer appointments, set, held, signed. How many showings, open houses, written offers? How many accepted offers? How many have we closed? Our income, and what do we still have pending to close? Cash flow. Any month of the year, you can pull up your cash flow. So if you're looking in the month of July, I can see, yep, green is closed, blue is pending. So I can see when is my money coming in this month. And it shows me my GCI, and then it also takes up my cost of sales and my actual net. So I have $12,000 coming in, but my actual net is $4,400. So I can also know my net cash flow. 411 built in shows you all of your key facets of your business, year-to-date actual, and my actual goal. It automatically generates your financial statement. You can see your full yearly financial statement: income, cost of sales, and operating expenses. The three areas of your financial statement, and it will automatically generate the income, the cost of sales, and then you just simply enter in your monthly expenses. You can enter them in as often as you desire. All of your lead sources and ROI are tracked as well. Every piece of your business. If you're not tracking your lead sources and your return on investment in your business, you're truly not running a business. You need to know where your business is coming from. Farming, it shows me how many I've listed, how many I've sold, how much I've made, and how much I invested, what's my percent return, and then each month how much money I made off of that. You can put your own custom lead sources in here. Side by side, and it does totals as well. And it has a leaderboard in here for your entire team as well. And individual scorecards for every team member. To find out exactly what each team member has done month by month, from lead gen down to contracts written, down to closings. How much money have they made? What do they have pending as well? All of that is in here. Go to 2018cte.com. This is 100% free to your market center now.
Okay, that's the end of the class. Any questions?
Wow. When did it go live?
Kidding. So, well, it's been live for many years, contrary to popular belief. When I was at an intensive in June, I guess it was, Brian Gubernick brought up on the slide he brought this up. For those of you just coming in, I sent an email to you. Have somebody next to you forward it to you. That would be awesome. And the rest of you, you can open it up either on your phone or you can watch the screen here, and I'll show you what has happened, and I'll show you what I got and why this is so important in our business. So I was with Brian Gubernick and Brett Tanner a couple of months ago on an intensive. We were talking about our business and what was going on in our business and all that good stuff. And Brian Gubernick brought up this on the screen. If I can see it here, scoreboard. There we go, there. He brought this up on the screen, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's pretty cool. Where did that come from? And he just kind of dismissed it and goes, oh yeah, CTE. And I never heard another word about it. And I'm thinking, well, that's awesome. That's like in our team, we would love to be able to know a play-by-play every day, what we're doing, what we're not doing. So then a month later, we were up at our ALC retreat up on Mount Charleston, and we were talking about our numbers, and I said something about I'm looking for a scoreboard of sorts. And Richard Thompson pulled out a photocopy of this, and he handed it to me. He's like, you mean something like this? And I said, yeah, where did you get that? What is it? And he goes, oh, it's CTE. I'm like, what is CTE? And he goes, commitment to excellence. And so while we were sitting there, I think I was listening to Terry talk, and so I went on my phone, and I started looking for CTE. I don't remember what Terry was saying, but I do remember finding CTE. I'm joking with you, Terry. So I started playing with it that night, and I realized, wow, this shows me my actives and my pendings, and it shows me my business plans. It's showing me, what my team's doing. Where's this system? How do I get it? So I got a hold of Callan from Commitment to Excellence, and we emailed back and forth, and he's like, yeah, it's $40. Here you go. Give me your credit card, and I'll set you up. So I did, and within about a week, I got on board. So I made a comment to Shirley at the office, and I said, hey, this is a great system. She goes, do you know that we actually used to have it, but nobody was using it? She said, I think there were a couple of agents when I finally turned it off who were using it. So I said, well, listen, I'm paying for it, and I know that Richard Thompson's paying for it. I can only imagine who else in the office is paying for it, and at some point, our cost is going to outweigh what the market center. So she got Terry's approval, and as a value added to both market centers, the marketplace is actually paying for our Commitment to Excellence. So I said, you know what? If you offer it to the agents, I'll go ahead and teach them the crash course so that they can set the system up and start using it in their business. So I wish I could tell you that this is some extremely difficult system to learn to use. It's not. The reason why the class is so important is that you need to understand it's an Excel file. It is a glorified Excel file that can easily be screwed up. And so I want you to understand that. So there's really three basic aspects to this. And it goes back to the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. So when you start to set up your business, you have to do a business plan, like Callan told you on the video. And once you put in all that information, then you actually go in and put your actual business. So what's your goals, what's your actual GCI, what's your pendings, your actives, your closings. And it's important, but it's not time consuming. There's not a lot that needs to be done. Everything here that's in red is pretty much what you're gonna go and input. So for instance, I'm the team owner. And because I have a level of production, I go ahead and I put my production in here. $100,000, that's all I'm gonna do this year. I go ahead and I put the splits, I put my average listing price, my average buyer price, the commissions on average that we get in our market. It's gonna calculate my volume, it's gonna now give me my cost of sales splits, my gross income, it's gonna tell me how many listings I need to have, how many buyers, the percentage of my closings. I typically do about 90% of listings taken to close, and then I do about 80% buyers taken to close, which you need to know your numbers. And then I'll need to take 5 listings and 8 buyers in order to hit my numbers. By knowing those, or at least knowing your goals, it's gonna go pretty easy. Once you select up here that you're gonna do teams, it's automatically gonna populate this additional section so you can enter your teams. What's important here is that everybody in my organization goes on here. Past, current, and somebody that joins the team later. It doesn't matter what position they're in, because they're either gonna be a commissioned agent or they're going to be a bonus or salary position. It still affects my business. It's still cost of sales, it's still an expense, everybody goes on here. But CTE will allow you to decipher who they are and what they are. For instance, I added a couple of new agents that have joined the team. I don't have their production numbers yet, I don't have their goals yet, so I haven't added it. But it tells me, hey, you've got some information that you need to add. So if I knew that Shannon wanted to make $100,000 this year, edit the workbook.
By the way, too, I think everybody in here has access to edit the workbook, so just don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it, please. And I'm gonna end, once the class is over, I'm gonna end up changing the access and the password, but I wanted you to be able to get into it. But yeah, please don't make any changes. So now it's gonna populate. See how it starts to pop up information over here? And it automatically knows, hey, you've got somebody who has $100,000. Who are they? What are they? And the system knows, are you an ISA? Are you an agent? Are you an administrative assistant? So is this going to be a split situation, or is it going to be a 1099 or a W-2? And I can go in here, and if I know that she's going to do 50% listings, I can go and I can select. She's going to do 50% listings. It's going to now calculate the balance. I can change it, but it's gonna go, wait a minute, you only have 100. So it's a really, really smart system. It's gonna take you 10 minutes to set this up, believe it or not. It's really easy. If you don't have a team, you're a solo agent, you're just gonna select the solo agent platform up here, and it would take everybody away. Okay? Don't do it because I don't wanna lose my information, but it will let you do that. So then, yeah,
Good thing you brought
because
that
it
up.
is, yeah, it is an Excel file,
So
so
just testing it out, we're typing their numbers in to see how it
just know that it is an Excel file, yeah. So based on all of this, at a quick glance, I can look at my business plan and go, all right, well, we need to take 75 listings, 81 buyers, we need to sell 63 of those listings, we need to sell 67 of those buyers for an average total sale of 130. Now, how many know what my goals are for 2018? And what are they?
240.
So, automatically, is there a problem?
Yes.
There is. Automatically, I know, based on what I'm doing right now, where I'm going, my closing ratios, my leads, the amount of agents, everything that I've populated in here, I'm about 50% of goal. I'm about 50% of goal. I have half as many agents as I need, and I have half as many leads as I need. And this system tells me that. So, if nothing else happens in your business for the rest of the year, populate this with real numbers, and it will actually tell you where your deficits are. Okay? So this gives you just an overview, the volume, the GCI, the cost of sales, your expenses. I'm running about 22.5% on my expenses. This month, I'm gonna have a net income of negative $2,000, just so you know. So that's a really good piece of information for us to have. So if you go into your business plan, sorry, home, there we go. That was my business plan. We populated it, we put all the information in there, the splits, and we put cost of sales, and we did everything the right way. Now we're gonna go into the actual business. So this is your actual production. So you put in here that it's a buyer, and you're gonna put that it's active, and it's 324 Desert Haven Avenue. You're gonna put the client's name, you're gonna put the source, you're gonna put the pre-listing sign date, like if it's not on the market yet, it was signed on this day. You're gonna put the listing date, you're gonna put the expiration date, you're gonna put what date it goes under contract, the projected close, the close date. You're gonna funnel all that information in there. Every single morning, it's just your admin's job. It's no big deal. It's gonna take you 30 seconds to populate this information and do a quick status. Train them that anytime they do a status in the MLS, they go into CTE, they adjust the status. It's always gonna give you accurate information. And then this thing goes on forever. So you can add what team member it's assigned to. You can add if there was an ISA that was procuring cause on the lead, what those splits look like. It'll give you the opportunity to put everything in there. It's important to be accurate. It's important to keep it up to date. So it'll even go on to the splits on if there was a lead agent, if there was a co-agent. It'll allow you to identify the splits in there. It'll allow you to identify the net income. So now you all realize that I'm not as rich as you think I am, because I don't get that much when it's all said and done. It'll talk about my taxes, and then it'll talk about my net income after the taxes. It'll calculate everything for you. So that is the business, okay? Have your numbers, put it in there. It's just facts. You don't have to know a lot. Then we go back to home. The third portion here is what we call the lead gen. So on my team, everybody has downloaded this little URL that's up here to their phone and then saved it to their home screen. So if somebody is in their office prospecting today, they're going to go into this app when they're done, and they would add things like, scroll down, we have a lot of data here. There we go. So they would go into the app and they would put the date, and then they would put that they dialed for 4 hours, or 4 hours. They made one dial. Well, let's go up to John here. Dialed for 3 hours, made 180 dials, made 32 contacts, Out of that, he got 0 nurtures, he got 0 appointments set, he got 0 listing appointments held, listing signed, buyers, et cetera, it can go all the way down, written offers, number of showings, open houses, and if you're an ISA, it'll populate additional information for the ISA. So, somebody has, if we have somebody who's on my, in my system, go in and enter in a bunch of numbers. Like go onto your phone and add something, just put your name, but in, I don't know, put something in the comments so that we know that it was a test for today. And I want you guys to see how this populates. So John's going to do that real quick. And while John does that, they talked about some of the plans and some of the viewings. If you go up here, and if you're looking on your page, he talked about the whiteboard, he talked about the CEO summary. Those are also down here. I typically use these. I would encourage you when you're using the system to use the ones up here, because when you start looking at the additional tasks down here at the bottom, they're not labeled, and they can get you into a little bit of trouble. So like if we see now they're not labeled and they go on forever.
Somebody just entered.
So John, oh, it's kicking me out. So John just went in.
Oh, because so many people are on it right now.
Yeah, or editing.
Yeah, we're
Trying to
editing it.
reload, yeah.
So we're in Legion. If this was open, you would actually see it refreshing. And John didn't put his name, but
That's the one I'm on right now.
John's name
That's actually
shows up,
mine.
You probably just need to reload.
No.
No, I mean John's name is on
Oh.
more, so it's just not showing up.
It shows me right above John. I haven't finished entering.
alright, so we got John, 827, he's got 5.25 hours, 32, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now what happens is, this information automatically populates into your spreadsheet. So it allows us, as team owners, to go in and say, we're gonna take your information, we're gonna know the source. For instance, if we're using Mojo, if we're using a Vulcan dialer, if his contacts and his nurtures, I can go into my CRM and I can validate this information. So it takes away the self-reporting mechanism of a new agent who wants to tell you they're doing the job. They think that they're actually working 5.25 hours in their business, and what they're doing is busy work. So this is a really good tool to pull systems. 411, Calvin talked about, there's a built-in 411, we're gonna show it real quick. Talks about the 135, the CGI calculator is in there for them. So that way when you train with your team and you sit down, you can go through all of these details with them.
So, Kurt, so CGI is connected to this?
Not CGI at Keller Williams. What we do is we populate everything into CGI first, because that gives us kind of their goals for the year, and then I take the actual data and I put it into CTE. So they mirror each other.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay?
wondering.
The agent can then go into CGI calculator and they can put their appointments, because that's the only thing that they have to continue to do, is add their appointments. The closings and the contracts auto-populate from green sheets. We put it in ourselves, our admin does. So if you're a solo, or if you have agents that are on CGI calculator, they go in through KW Connect, you do their goals for them, or if they're a solo agent, you're doing them with Sharon. And then the only thing that you have to self-populate into CGI calculator is your appointments. Because now your contracts automatically populate from Keller Williams. Okay? Now we have to self-populate everything, but that's okay. It's an admin job, or it's you in the morning, it literally takes a couple of minutes. So when you have a team, see if I can grab it here. about whiteboard. So here is our whiteboard. Don't know why some things aren't populating. I think we have too many people in it. Here is CEO summary. We talked, he kind of showed you some stuff on the CEO summary. So it's going to tell you how many listings we've taken, how many listings we've sold, what's our CGI calculator on that, the buyers. It's going to talk about our actuals, our pre-signs, our active listings, our buyers, our pendings, our closed, cost of sales. I'm really high on my cost of sales, by the way, because we've done some closings where we didn't have team split commissions on them. So it automatically raises my cost of sales. Expenses, gross profit, net profit, and then you can keep going and it'll show you actives. Scoreboard, this is big for us. You kind of saw a little bit about it. This helps the team understand on a daily basis kind of where we are with our numbers. So we have a lot of reds. We have really big goals. We have a lot of things we want to do and we're not hitting them. And we know that every day. We know that we can go into our business and say, we're dropping the ball, we can do things better, we can hustle a little harder. Sold home board, he brought that up where it's gonna populate and put colors here on everything. It just takes a second for it to all load. But you'll see a bunch of reds and blues and stuff populate here in a second. It will also, we talked about 4 conversations. So here's the 4 conversations. And you can literally pull this up with your agent or for yourself for that matter, print it off. And you can say, you know, this year's goal, and this is on Tracy. So she was the first agent that pulled up on. So we can say, hey Tracy, these are your goals, these are your actuals. This is what you're doing, this is what you're not doing. Here's the closings, here's your income. We can change the agent if we wanted to. I don't want to edit it. Just in case. We can also go in and it's going to talk about the leaderboard. So who's the leader on the team, and it's going to always pull ranking and change people. So you can see right now Brandon is actually in the ranking with his actives. And then we have Amanda, and then we have John and Tracy. So it's going to pull data, pendings. Tracy has more pendings than everybody else. Closed units, Tracy has more closed units. So you can pull up that. It's great for competition, getting people into higher level of production. And then it has the team member scorecard. So I can go in individually with an agent and I can sit down on a 411 with them or a one-on-one and we can talk about what they're doing in their business, how they're doing it, what we need to improve upon. And it's a real nice targeted numbers game, because literally that's what it is. As team owners, our job is to always look at numbers. And if the numbers aren't right, guess what? I know one of 2 things. It's either they're not giving us the right numbers or we're not entering the right numbers, because they won't lie. The system doesn't care whether I like Tracy or not. It doesn't care. It just says, what are your numbers? So we can go into, we can do things like rankings, where it's going to say who's number 1, number 5. It's going to give them a little internal competition for that. It's also going to, which I use this a lot, this is our financial statement. So it literally will go through my profit and loss for each month, and it'll give me the opportunity to add, subtract, multiply, divide. Rhiannon and I do what's called cost-cutting parties, where we go in and we look at 3 months worth of expenses and net profit, and then we cut things. We turn off credit cards, we order new cards, because a lot of OneNote, I talked about this at the KPI class last month, we get a lot of expenses that just pop up because you need something one day, and we need to order, you know, we need to pay for calendaring or something, and then we realize we don't need it. And we want to be able to get rid of those expenses. So it's important that your admin puts everything on here so that you can go through as your business owner, as the CEO, and go, no, I don't need everything. Let's get rid of this. Let's cancel that. So that's a really great thing. You can pull the report, give it to your bookkeeper, you can give it to your accountant at the end of the year. You can pull up your actuals, your goals versus your actuals, that's great. Because at mid-year, we wanted to adjust our business, so we were able to go in and say, you know what? Yes, we're ambitious, and yes, we wanna do 240, and we know that that is a possibility, not a probability. What can we do in our business to adjust so that we still hit the numbers that are stretch and are accurate for us to hit? And this is, all of these reports are pulled based off of your business plan and your business. You don't even have to do this. This is your team. This is literally you downloading a separate, it's actually a survey that he creates. He sends it to you, it's a separate URL. You give that URL to everybody on your team, they populate that information. You don't have to do anything with it. This is great, we're gonna start using this on my team, we have not yet. This is a CTE weekly meeting. So this pulls all of the important information and allows me to go in on our weekly meetings and focus on this. We haven't done it yet. This is something that because we still are populating information. This is something that we are doing. And you can see that we're way off. We're about 10%, no, 14, 47, what's that, 25, 30%. We're 30% of goal this month. 30% of goal. So we have a lot of opportunity. We can do a lot to move up. We're only 8% of goal on listings taken. Let's move to the next screen, Jesus. That doesn't make me feel so good. But it's true, right? And then there's a monthly summary. So this is gonna pull, what did we do for the month? What did we not do? Huge data, great stuff for us. The numbers don't lie, guys. Spend some time on it. A lead gen summary. Okay, so I can go through here and I can see, well, who are my rock stars on lead gen? You know, who's putting in the time and the effort and the activity? What are their results? And then what's their conversion? Because as a team owner, you want to get people into momentum. Once you can get them into momentum, you want to get them into production. So it's either a time on task over time problem where they're just not putting in the effort, or they're putting in the effort and they just don't know how to have the conversations. It's literally one of the two issues. That's it. And so this allows me to track what they're doing, so I know that, you know, John here, 32, this week 32, last week 610 on his dials, and he's done 1,682 dials. Okay, well I know that he's doing a lot of effort. He's putting a lot into his work. Now I can go over here and say, well, okay, John, what are your contacts? How many for the month? What's your goal? Ah, okay. So are we getting, you're making a lot of dials, people are picking up the phone, but are we having great conversations? Are we converting them into your value proposition? So I can spend some time with that. And then, are you really good at taking the information, putting it into your database, and systematically following up with those people so that long-term they come to the surface? Now, John actually is. He's really good at creating nurtures. This is awesome for me, even though it's not populating. I don't know why, but this is going to pull all of our lead source information. I don't know why it's not populating. So when we go in and we say what was the source of that contract or the nurture, and we say it was a door knocking, it was an open house, it was a pay-per-click lead, it was Vulcan 7, it was referral. That's important for me. I want to see where my money's going. I want to be able to track those dialing activities and know that he got a lead off of Vulcan 7. She got a lead off of Sphere of Influence. And are we incentivizing or are we paying money where we should be for lead gen? When the shifts happen, one of the things that the shift book tells you in the first 3 chapters is double down on your lead gen activity and what you pay for that activity. And so we should always kind of know in our business, what are my top 3, top 4, we call them pillars, my lead gen pillars. And as we shift in a market, are we putting more effort and money into those environments? Because the one thing in a shift that you never change is your budget for lead gen. And some of you have zero. Some of you don't spend money for your lead gen, and that's okay. It's a time investment. Double down on your time investment and track that, okay? Let's make sure you can get an ROI on that. It's gonna talk about my year over year. Doesn't really count right now because I don't have a year over year, but that would be important for trending. Like if I know I'm building my business and all of a sudden next year I spent $250,000 on lead gen activities, and also I realize that I'm closing less homes, I can see the activities that I've done this year versus next year, and I can make financial adjustments based on that. For some of you, this is going to be really attractive as you're recruiting. This is your 411. Okay, so if you just go through numbers, when you sit down with them and you talk about their business and what they're doing and how they can get better, that's their 411. Just based off what they've already been doing. And I'll go through a couple of more and then we will kind of open it up for questions. We're not using this on our team, and we will be. We have a dot board right now where we do appointments set and appointments held. And that's a visual and it's attractive for the team. And I pay them a spiff. I pay them a $25 spiff for the person who sets the most appointments and holds the most appointments. We will be transferring it to this fun board where appointments set, appointments held, the little horses start rolling down the track. And so it'll be done from a Tuesday or a Monday to a Monday. But this is what we will be using in the future. So it's fun. The competition on my team is if this person only needs one more to win, and we know we have a meeting that starts at 11 a.m., I'm looking at him going, well, you know, you got a couple hours. Go hold another appointment. So it's just some fun things that they can do there. And let's see if I can get back. And then last but not least, that I think is important, is your team summary. So this is going to, year-to-date GCI, it's going to tell you how much they've made. It's going to give you your GCI needed to be on pace, what we're up, what we're down, the active listings, the active buyers, the pending GCI. This is something I keep on my desktop a lot. I'm always looking at it. I can project my numbers. I can see my cash on hand. I can see my cash flow and projections, and it'll actually pull out 6 weeks worth of projections. So this is really important for me. As a team owner, this is the highest level of summary that I think the CTE system gives us. Any questions on this? I know it's not as sexy of a class as I normally teach. It's a numbers game, but what I wanted to really teach you is how simple it actually is. The only things we have to focus on are these three. And you as the team owner, you only have to do number 1 and 2. And what happens is when you sign up, Shirley will give you the login information. You go in here, you fill it all out, you will send an email to Calvin. Calvin will direct you to put it into a OneDrive. I recommend that you download the free OneDrive, and that's the only thing you put in it. So if you have a business OneDrive, go get a personal OneDrive. If you're using a personal OneDrive, go get another personal OneDrive. And that's the only thing that sits in the OneDrive. Yes?
I was gonna say, so I sent Shirley something on Friday.
Okay.
She replied with the link. You click on the link and then you have to fill out the information and submit it to.
Yep. So that's what'll happen, and he'll give you your own access. You fill it out, you let him know when it's done. It's very simple. He'll give you like a to-do list. Do this, do this, do this. Email it back to me when it's done. He goes in, he makes sure that your data is good, Calvin from CTE. He'll make sure your data is good within about a 24-hour turnaround time, and then you go live. You need to let him know if you have a team or 2 people that are going to be on the same account that's going to operate like a team, because he's going to have to create a team link for you, which is also going to give you your mobile access. Okay?
Do you think that even if you don't have a team right now, that it's best to just set it up as a team if you're planning on eventually having more people, or do solo?
So
or
you can
2
do
people?
all of it here on the front end without having a team, because
Okay.
you're just going to select team, group, or individual agent. And that only changes the business and the business plan. if your team is going to do the lead gen activity, he has to know about that. Cause he has to set up a back end, and it's basically, it's a survey addition to the Excel file.
So that could be changed later on.
Yeah, if
there's
it's
an
just
update.
use Solo right now, just focus on these two, you're good. If you are going to track your own lead gen activity though, and you're gonna be your only agent, definitely set it up.
Now, so my first step is, I need to email Shirley.
Yep,
No,
tell
I don't
Shirley
need to
that
go
you want the
into
link.
website. Okay.
Yep, she's gonna send you a link, you're gonna go and follow the directions on the link,
Okay.
and it will be something like, it'll be something like this. Is that what you got? Something
Well-
that's similar to this?
The link just brought me to a page where it says, put your first name, your last name, your it just
And
adds
then
you all
sends it
that.
to him.
And
So
then you
that-
submit it.
That is,
So I haven't gotten the response
Right
yet.
there.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
that part.
yep. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
just,
that
he
is
sent this
something.
to me as a trainer, so it's just
Gotcha.
gonna have a bunch more stuff on it. But that's what you're gonna do. It's really simple. You do have to create a OneDrive account, and it does need to be a personal OneDrive account.
So those of you who are in here who are in coaching with me, because we're doing business planning right now,
Mhm.
don't start this until we get our process complete, but then this is an absolutely natural platform to go on to track everything.
So we can go.
And your assistant can do it, don't you get worried. Okay.
So just go ahead, set it up.
Set it up, and don't start putting data into it until we get
Well,
done
track
with the
easy
business planning
pieces,
process.
just do it exactly, so that makes
Cause this is a great thing.
Yep,
This is
no,
a
it's-
fabulous thing.
And let me tell you, for you, it's free. Even if you paid for it, it'd be $40 a month. And there is one other system out there that is close to it. It probably has a little bit sexier front end, although it doesn't have nearly the back end that this does. And I think that there's somewhere between $100 and $200 a month, depending if you're a solo or if you have a team.
Yeah, this is a great thing, guys, this is.
What's that?
I said free
$3.99.
99
Yeah.
is
So
better.
any questions? So I have access to a lot of these webinars and things if you need them. Feel free to just email me directly and say, hey Craig, I'm in my system, I'm having this problem, can you help me? I can send you any of these things like how to share it with your coach. I can send you the video, just how to send it to your coach. I actually could have sent the link today that was non-editable. I wasn't gonna send you my link at all, but then when I pulled it up, I thought, well, you can't see it. That's why I sent it to you. So please delete it, don't access it.
Don't change numbers.
Yeah, don't change anything, guys, I would really appreciate it. However, if you need something, let me know, I'm happy to send it to you. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, so everybody's entitled to an account, doesn't matter if you're on a team or not. If you're on a team, you have your own access to your own pages. You can also create your own account as well, and if your team leader will let you, you can share it with them.
Let Ed know to not fill in any of the data till we're done, okay, yeah.
Okay, any questions? Thanks, everybody, we got done 10 minutes early, you're out of here.
Thank you, Craig.